Thank you, Richard, and good morning to all of you. My name is Rita from Uganda, but in this conference I have another name, Lost Luggage. But thank you all for your support. My involvement with the telecentre movement is 13 years old. It goes back to 1998 when I worked with IDRC to pioneer the first telecentres in Uganda, whose main aim was mainly to explore the benefits of using ICTs for community empowerment. I had just finished my master's program in '97 December, and I was hired as a project officer with multiple roles: community mobilization, trainer, advocate, to manage the office. We were basically just two people in the office, myself and the driver. But we traversed the country to spread the gospel and to demonstrate the use of ICTs in accelerating socio-economic development in 5 meetings we organized regionally around Uganda. I had had a privilege of studying in a more developed country than mine, and therefore had appreciated the benefits of using ICTs. And so the transfer of the message of ICTs was of no challenge. But I loved what I did then, and I love what I do now, serving communities and making a difference in their lives. At the beginning, what I was employed to do didn't seem like what a Master of Business Administration student should be doing. But in fact, I've applied my management skills and entrepreneurship development skills all through. And I hope you will agree with me that ICT4D development projects like telecentres require good leadership, ingenuity, and entrepreneurship skills, among others. So currently I serve in different capacities, but the point I want to make here is building capacity and developing of skills through networking, through sharing, deliberate training cannot be taken lightly. And I'm a result of all that. This morning I want to focus on the title of our session is Back to the Future, and what I've just given you I entitled as Beautiful Beginnings. And my presentation now, I just want to put you in perspective of where Uganda is. I'll touch a little bit about critical factors that relate to ICT, a little diagram on the communication pathway, and 2 case studies that I want to talk about. One that reflects evidence from the field, and the other that reflects our situation about the internet connection, but mainly to draw lessons from those 2 services and to give me a platform to talk about the current state of Africa, what is possible, and what the future holds. That is Uganda, and within Africa, there we are in the middle, sub-Saharan Africa. The critical factors that relate to ICT, I think to empower people and communities through use of ICTs are 3 main things. 1, the importance of information, the importance of good communication, and the need to bring both as near to the recipient communities or people as possible. And that is our pathway. We have a source, we have a telecentre, and we communicate this information through paper, electronic, human, down to our communities. And so the telecentre is the hub that receives, that stores, that disseminates the information. I want to give you a case of the UDS telecentre that I work for. We took ICT's services to the poorest district in Uganda in 2000. We started off with a few services: computer training, library, and a business centre. We started outreach services in 2002 because we had people that were not, our communities were not coming to the center because of distance, because of work. So we had to go out and look for them, really. And we established internet only in 2006, from 2000. And that was using a leased line. But once we broke ground, others have actually come in, mainly private cafes. Our thrust has not been the technology, but the information and knowledge. The technology has enabled us. Some of the evidence from the field, there you can see students using the study area within the library at the UDS Telecentre. And this girl, she's called Pride. She says, I like studying here because it's conducive, it's quiet, and there's some books here where you can get extra ideas. The books are different from the ones at school, so you can compare the ideas. I come almost every day, and she's been at it for 5 years. This is a picture that George is a farmer, and one of the things we do, we promote household food security and household incomes, and George chose enterprises of pineapple, banana in the middle there, and onions as enterprises to add on his income. And there, what he got out of the pineapples and the bananas, he managed to buy himself some animals there, and then the information that we disseminate on rainwater harvesting in the corner there. This is a school that we take books to schools. We do have a project where we reach out to private secondary schools because they do not have enough books. And it has 180 pupils, and it has had this box since 2007. And the librarian there says that the children are encouraged to come borrow books, and the school has seen a great improvement in their reading ability. As a consequence, we have seen grades improve over the past 3 years. Those are some of the stories that encourage us to keeping on, to keep, promoting the use of the telecentre. And just to dwell a little bit on internet, I mentioned that we only established the internet in 2006. No service provider was willing to go up country in remote areas because it didn't make business sense to them. They didn't have a solution for it. And at the time, what was available was the leased line through copper wire, and the cost was $460 per month. In September 2006, the cost came down to $384. In 2007, it went up to $900. They said there's something they were not charging us, so they had to charge the line rental and they had to charge the leased line. In August 2007, they removed one of the charges. It came down to $527. It was real drama. 2007, it comes down to $390. Well, 2008, another solution comes. So we apply for the broadband for upcountry, and indeed in April 2008, we got it at that cost of $170 per month. And after laying the fiber optic cable in 2009, 2010, the cost has further come down to $65 US per month. And you'll be happy to know that we do charge for all the internet services, and currently with the cost that has come down, we are able to meet our monthly subscription without any subsidization from anywhere. Some of the lessons we draw from this: costs keep coming down. Internet solutions keep changing, and we are seeing more and more low-cost solutions coming up. I think innovators need to get a deeper understanding of what the landscape is and who they will be serving in order to innovate relevant solutions. And in such a situation, for a telecentre operator, I think it was important for us to stay focused and to keep the fighting spirit to get internet to that remote area. So what is the current state in Africa? We see that bandwidth is highly available at the moment, especially with the coming of cable, so capacity has increased. We have faster internet speeds, which are easing communication. Services are available to more people at lower costs. We now have the wireless modems, and people are able to plug in. Mobile telephony has penetrated many African countries. So what's possible? In Africa, we can now build data warehouses, and this is where Google can find the information, rather than, it's been going to Europe and everywhere. So, but at least Africa now has a chance, provided our power is sufficient. And telecentres are strategically positioned to build these data warehouses, and also continue, as they continue to mediate the access to information. In health, telemedicine, ability for specialists from other parts of the country or elsewhere in the world to attend to a patient in a remote area, but where good connectivity is available, and telecentres can provide the space for this telemedicine consultation. E-government, centralized government systems and services with the ability to access records from any part of the country. In Uganda, we see this happening with the Ministry of Public Service and Finance. And for instance, meetings for citizens can be held via video conferencing solutions. Telecentres can provide these facilities. In education, e-learning, where there's a shortage of teachers, it's possible, and you can hold classes in different schools at the same time. Telecentres are still better placed to provide this. Social networks, everybody's on these networks, especially the young people. From Dimension Data, we get those statistics. People on Facebook or Zone, the different networks. And these people can do tremendous things given the right environments. Telecentres can actually continue to demonstrate what social networks are, and also continue to train and build capacity of communities. So our future is bright, it's promising, with a lot of opportunities for the telecentre movement. Telecentres are still strategically positioned to provide a means of reaching out and enabling the participation of the communities in accessing information and knowledge. We should not see telecentres in isolation, but we should put them on the development agenda, nationally, regionally, globally. One thing I see, we need strategic alliances. We need public-private partnerships between telecentres and governments to provide all those services as we've seen in the current status. Private-to-private alliances with other private sector providers. Telecentres can be agents for mobile money, airtime, mobile phones, and all those other services I'm sure you know of. Dataware hubs, this will grow in the least development countries, especially with the availability of broadband and all that. Still, the future, we really still need to continue to develop capacity through training, and not just for Africa, but globally. It requires that we innovate solutions. One of those solutions is N-computing. It's a system that telecentres and institutions have started using. You just have one host computer, and you just have your mouse and keyboard and monitors. It saves on power, saves on money to buy, a full set and all that. Especially that now there is a ban on second-hand computers in many of the African countries. The other issue is about continuing to strengthen the global, continental, regional, national telecentre networks, to engage and dialogue with policymakers to provide us with an enabling environment. For instance, in Africa, which is the least lit continent, we need the electricity generation, transmission, distribution infrastructure, because power must be sufficient in order for the ICT infrastructure to thrive. We need to increase on numbers, build a critical mass, especially for Africa, through deliberate effort and commitment with different partners. We cannot continue to ignore the fact that telecentres are useful and are here to stay. They continue to bridge the gap for communities, and in Africa, it will take a while for families to actually afford a personal computer. Can you really ignore these smiles of people who have benefited from information? I can't. And there, can you really ignore a bunch of matoke given to you by the people you have trained? I don't know. Thank you so much.